What's up, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video review. In this review, we're going to be reviewing a digital-only title. That is The Messenger from Devolve Digital, available on the Nintendo Switch. It's also available to download, I believe, on PC/Steam, but for this review, we're going to be looking at the Nintendo Switch version. Now, Devolve Digital should be a name that a lot of gamers have sort of recognized, though. For me, I really didn't hear about this developer that much until I played some of their games, like Shadow Warriors, which was definitely fun on the PS4. Would love to see it come to the Nintendo Switch if that ever happens, and possibly the sequel as well, although that came to the PS4, but I think there's some limits on that one. I'm not finding them. I'm not 100% sure about that. And of course, we all remember them from their E3 presentation last year, which was basically, their presentation was sort of an anti-E3, which honestly I thought it was very funny and very humorous. I didn't see this one this year. I gotta take a look at it though. And recently they've been a big supporter of the Nintendo Switch, as they've been putting out some very interesting titles. One that has certainly got a lot of people's attention as is The Messenger. And after investing a couple of hours in this game, I honestly have to say that this may be, right next to Dead Cell, my second favorite indie game that I've played so far this year. So why don't we get started with the pros and the cons. So we'll start off first with the pros. The first one for The Messenger is its gameplay. This game basically is has an old school feel to it, though. It feels like one part Ninja Gaiden, since obviously that's where they drew the inspiration for this game, and one part Metroidvania, which picks up a little bit later on in the level and in the game, though. Now, some reviewers have sort of complained about the Metroidvania part. Honestly, for me though, I love those style of games. I love those Metroidvania style games and approach. So for me, this is definitely a plus, though. Basically, the game, it plays very much like your old school Ninja Gaiden game. Those who remember playing it back on the NES days as well. So it has that classic 2D feel to it, and that's definitely a good thing. The second part I want to talk about is the visuals, and this is interesting because here the visuals are both an 8-bit and a 16-bit, though. Earlier on in the game, you basically are playing in an 8-bit, basically you're seeing 8-bit style visuals and graphics. Think very similar to how Bloodstained Curse of the Moon was when that came out earlier this year. Later on, you eventually switch over to a 16-bit style, very similar to what you would see back in the days of the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. And then when it gets to the Metroidvania part, there are certain parts where where the level switches, where the visual switches between an 8-bit and a 16-bit visuals, and doing so can also open up different paths in that area and all that stuff. So, but overall, visually, the game looks nice, both the 8-bit and the 16-bit graphics part of the game. And last but not least is the humor. And I have to say, this game did give me a few chuckles here and there. And I do feel that in certain degrees, they sort of do a breaking of the fourth wall, though. Some of the funny moments are basically when you're going into the shop and you click on, you want to hear a story, and one of those, like, robes, the folks wearing those robes will tell you a story, and one of them talks about a cauldron in hell, and basically they talk about how there are different cauldrons. One is for people who do this and that, and then one goes on an idiotic rant saying this is for those who had to wait in line for 5 hours just to buy something and all that stuff. So there's some humorous moments, and it's very funny indeed. So overall, I have to say the humor is there. I like the humor, and I do believe there is some fourth wall thrown into it as well. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to part 2 of the cons for The Messenger. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video review of The Messenger on the Nintendo Switch, also available on PC and Steam. And now that I gave you my pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And there's only really 2 cons I can really think of as far as my time with The Messenger, and we'll start off with the first one. The first one has to do with the double jump. Now, the way the double jump in this game works is basically every time you hit a certain item, you have to hit the jump button at the right time and your character can perform a double jump. This can work on ranging from if you're hitting like a projectile or hitting like a lamp or something like that, or hitting an enemy, you can activate sort of a double jump. The thing is that it's it takes some time getting used to, and for some people it could be very tricky to perform. It's very difficult though. It took me a little while to get it though. Eventually I was able to understand how it works, although there are times it's sort of a hit and miss for me though. But for those out there who might have a hard time trying to time it right, this is something you have to sort of get used to though. This isn't like a traditional double jump where you just hit the jump button again and your character does a double jump. It's very tricky. It can be difficult at times to do the double jump. So the double jump does take some getting used to. The second thing and last one I do want to point out is the difficulty spike. Now, I don't have an issue with the difficulty spike as much though. I do think the game offers a challenge, and I think that's a good thing. That said, it might be difficult for some people, especially those who probably didn't grow up playing games like Ninja Gaiden, which was known to be notoriously difficult. Even I have hard times with it though. Fun game, but still difficult nevertheless. So this one sort of brings back that difficulty as well. The game certainly controls better than the old Ninja Gaiden games though, don't get me wrong, but that difficulty spike is there, and a lot of it also, what I said earlier about the double jump as well, so a lot of it is timing, and a lot of it is also having patience though. If there is one bright spot about the difficulty spike at the very least, is that you have unlimited lives, so at the very least you can continue to keep trying, all ranging from dealing with some of the enemies to some of the spikes to even memorizing the boss's pattern and everything. The catch is that when you die though, there's this little devil that basically any gems you collect he takes as well, and unfortunately you need those gems to kind of level up to, you know, power up your character and so forth. So if there's one bright spot at the very least, is like I said, it's that you do have unlimited lives. At least that's a good thing though. However, be warned though, this game does have a difficulty spike to it. Overall, I actually really enjoyed The Messenger. I like that old school 2D, gameplay that they add to it though. I like the whole 8-bit and 16-bit graphics that they add to it, and I like the fact that the game has a part Ninja Gaiden and part Metroidvania feel to it. That definitely is a good thing. I will admit the double jump and the difficulty spike might turn some people off, but if you can overcome, if the difficulty is not an issue, and if you can overcome the double jump though, you'll definitely enjoy The Messenger. I think it is a game I would recommend that you download, whether you have a Nintendo Switch or if you game on PC or Steam though. And if you're into those kind of 2D games like I am, or grew up playing those kind of games, this is one you should definitely check out. Okay, this concludes this video review of The Messenger for the Nintendo Switch, and like I said, also on PC and Steam. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about The Messenger? Do you think it's a fun game? Do you think it's challenging? Do you like the old school 2D gameplay? Do you like how it switches between 8-bit and 16-bit graphics? Do you think the difficulty spike turns you off or anything? Do you think it's difficult to perform? Do you think it's very difficult to perform the double jump? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And I hope you hit that like button. That would be great. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit that bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal Me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!